This is a public service announcement brought to you by the Australian governmental patients. Are you tired of waiting for your turn to get the Pfizer shot? Don't forget, we've secured plenty of AstraZeneca vaccine to make sure you can be protected against COVID-19 today. Okay, maybe not the Delta variant or even the original strain, but it'll definitely protect you against Dan Andrews' propaganda. Stand up and be a hero today. Book your AstraZeneca shot and we'll make sure the LNP box is already ticked for you at the next election.
And the Treasurer, Josh Flyhindenberg, joins ABC $7.15 live from Melbourne. Treasurer, thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure, Laura.
Treasurer Flyhindenberg, the May budget assumed there would be no more extended lockdowns. The PM has today conceded that the largest economy in the country, New South Wales, will be going into an extended lockdown. What's going to be the economic impact?
Look, Laura, it will be significant. Obviously, you get border closures, you get supply chains disruptions, you get delayed investment decisions. It's going to be bad. We expect that the New South Wales lockdown will cost the economy at least $700 a week.
$700 a week?
No, not $700. Obviously, I read that figure wrong, Laura. I meant, of course, $64.5 billion a week.
$64 billion a week?
Oh, too much? Would you believe $700 million a week?
I see. But what will that mean in terms of employment, though?
Well, Scott's looking pretty shaky, so hopefully I'll be able to ride this one out into an even better gig. What, have you heard something?
I was asking you about the economy, Treasurer Flyhindenberg, the job numbers.
Oh, everyone's always doing that. That's exactly why I want Scott's job. Look, Laura, numbers aren't exactly my thing, to be honest. I mean, fair dinkum, I have to pull my pants down to count to 11.
But if the biggest part of the economy is about to go into lockdown for a long period of time, the question is, what impact is it going to have on growth?
Buggered if I know, but it's Scott's home state. So we're throwing money at the problem like a drunken sailor, hoping some of it might stick to some swing voters.
But this is very different, isn't it, Treasurer, to the approach your government took with Victoria when it experienced a similar spike in infections.
Now listen, Laura, of course it is. We've transitioned to a different phase.
Well, we may have, but whose fault is this lockdown? You blamed Victoria and said the Victorian government had to take responsibility for the lockdowns there. Is this the New South Wales government's fault?
Laura, dear poor silly Laura. You had a poor innocent limo driver in New South Wales who made a whoopsie. No one's fault, and definitely not Gold Standard Gladys and her incredibly efficient team. Now, with respect to Victoria, they had a massive quarantine failure because of Dan Andrews' outrageous Labor Party incompetence and general poor hygiene and bad table manners.
Treasurer, Premier Andrews has said tonight that your government's refusal to provide more assistance to the state was a disgrace. Do the apparent double standards reflect the government's concern that it may lose seats in New South Wales?
Well, that makes me very angry. That's a very cynical question from Daniel Andrews there. How dare he try to politicise this crisis? That's our job and that of many fine journalists at 2GB and in the Murdoch media, along, of course, with your excellent colleague, Windy Sales. Goodness me, as soon as Windy starts asking Andrews questions, You get the bots and the trots and the vast numbers of outraged ordinary citizens starting to troll her on social media. The reality is, Dan Andrews is a dirty, smelly poo bum, and I don't like him, and neither do any of my friends. So, yeah.
But, Treasurer Flyhindenberg, aren't the current low vaccination rates a key reason New South Wales is facing an extended lockdown?
Well, the vaccine rollout has been very challenging, and it's not our fault. It's the fault of the health people who gave us advice, and, of course, the work experience guy we sent to negotiate our deal with Pfizer. Oh, and Dan Andrews, obviously.
But were you too slow?
Dan Andrews!
But were you too slow, Treasurer, to adjust those vaccine options? Should you have been talking to Pfizer globally?
Well, how the hell, with respect, Laura, did any of us have time to talk to Pfizer? It was an around-the-clock task for the entire Morrison government, calling every person, globally, with any influence whatsoever, for 18 months straight, if not more, to get Matthias or whatever his name is, Cormann, his job at the OECD. Look, it was a goddamn miracle we managed to pull that off. But do we get any credit for that? No, of course not. I'm still exhausted.
Treasurer, I'm afraid we're out of time, but thank you for joining us on $7.15 tonight.
Thank you, Laura. Hey, I know I'm terrible with numbers, but I thought this show was 7 to 7:30.
It was, Treasurer, but we had to make a few cuts here at the ABC.
Just a reminder to get your AstraZeneca vaccine shot today. Book your appointment right now and we'll even throw in a free pot of beer. Don't like beer? How about a personal letter of thanks from our amazing Prime Minister? We've got tons of the stuff to go around. And remember, you might get a blood clot, but you'll be doing it for your country. This message sponsored by New South Wales Health Minister Brad Hazzard. Remember, health is his middle name.